I have my handy dandy recipe notebook, so you already know what time it is. Let's get cooking. Welcome to my channel. This is Minnie Moving Mountains. My name is Minnie, and this is my series called Minnie Meals. Disclaimer, I am not a professional chef, nor am I a nutritionist. I'm just a girl in her moo-moo who cooks every night for her husband, so I can teach you how to cook, change up your meals for the week, or just give you something positive to watch. There is no fancy lighting. I just use a craft light. There's no fancy editing. I will not be editing this video because 1, I don't have time because I'm a business owner and have a very busy life, and 2, because I don't know how. So you're just gonna have to take it for what it is. I will have weird pauses and awkward silences, but that's just how my videos are. And there's no fancy makeup or filters. I'm just showing you the things that I'm passionate about, which is cooking and baking, my weight loss journey, and crafting. Today is Wednesday, May 6, 2026, meal number 88. Today, we're having Hanout beef with Tumeric spinach rice, blistered tomatoes, cranberries, and lemon Harissa sauce. So normally at this point, I would flip around the camera so you could see all the ingredients, but I'm trying to be a little bit more front-facing and being a little bit more comfortable in the camera. But like I said, you're gonna see me do pauses and I'm not editing them out. So if you're ready to cook, let's go ahead and get cooking. On today's episode, you're gonna need ground beef. This is 80-20. If you wanna use turkey, use turkey. I'm using ground beef. Spinach that has been washed and dried. 1 lemon that's going to be cut in half, and then half of it will be quartered and 1 will be left half. 1 white onion. 1 tablespoon of Hanout spice blend. Now, I am going to use a disclaimer. So I originally was going to use this spice because that's what the recipe called for. But I have something called MCAS, which is multi-cell activation syndrome. And I have to be really careful about things that will trigger my MCAS. I looked further into the ingredients of this, and this has something called mace, which will really flare me up. So the recipe does call for Hanout. But if you're somebody like me who has MCAS, flare-ups, inflammation, and or are sensitive to spice, I'm going to substitute it for the packet of ramen, the chicken packet in the ramen packet. The rest of the ingredients I am not going to remove. This is 1 tablespoon of turmeric, half a tablespoon of garlic powder, dried cranberries, 1 tablespoon of vegetable bouillon paste, 3/4 cup of jasmine rice. Remember, I just cook for my husband and I, so if you have a family that's bigger than ours, you're going to double, triple, or quadruple the recipe. This is jasmine rice, 3/4 cup. This is 1/8 cup of Harissa aioli. If you want to know how to make the recipe, I would be more than happy to, but this is 1/8 cup of Harissa aioli. You can also just buy it from the store. And these are grape tomatoes. Here's me doing those fancy shots of me pushing up my cutting board. For the lemon, you're going to cut it in half, and 1/2 of the lemon you're going to quarter. Half, quarter. Thinly slice your onion. You're going to need 4 tablespoons of butter. 2 is for your rice and 2 will be for your spinach. To a large pot on medium heat, you're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter. And on a medium pot, on medium heat, you're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter. While we wait for our butters to melt, we're going to go ahead and make our sauces. To your Harissa aioli, you're going to add garlic powder, juice from half of a lemon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And you're going to mix it well. And don't do like me, kids. Make sure you have a big enough bowl. It will look like this. Then you're going to set it aside until we're ready to use it. I've been yapping away. It's 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and finish our cook. Once your butter has melted, you're going to add your rice. 1 1/4 cup of water, turmeric, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper. And this is my designated rice spoon. I only use this spoon to stir my rice. Give it a good mix so the rice doesn't stick to the bottom. We're going to bring this rice to a boil, and then once it comes to a boil, we're going to lower the temperature. While we're waiting for the rice to boil, let's go ahead and cook our spinach. To the large pan on medium heat, you're going to add your spinach. And this I only use to stir things. Saute your spinach, and we'll come back to that in a minute. Your rice has come to a boil, so go ahead and mix it one more time so it doesn't stick to the bottom. It's really important that you lower your heat to low. Cover. My white timer is for my stovetop. You're going to cook the rice for 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and check on the spinach. Give it another stir. On this channel, we season our food. We're going to season our spinach with 1/4 teaspoon of salt, pepper, all-purpose seasoning, garlic powder, and paprika. Give it another mix. All that spinach just made 1 spoonful. This is going to go directly into your rice. Place your spinach in the rice. Give it a little bit of a mix. And recover your rice for the remainder of the cook. Now let's cook our ground beef. Place your ground beef into the pan that you cook the spinach and mash it so it's nice and fine. Add your cherry tomatoes, sliced onions, vegetable bouillon paste, cranberries. Now this is where you would add the Hanout spice. But remember, I am going to be substituting this for chicken packet seasoning from the ramen. But the recipe does call for Hanout, which is a bummer. I really was looking forward to making this recipe, but after trying that spice, I started to have a reaction, and I just can't risk it, because remember, I do have MCAS. And just to let you know, those packets that come in the ramen, it's just bouillon paste. Excuse me, I said paste. Bouillon powder. Tomato. And remember, it wouldn't be a Minnie's meal unless we seasoned our food. If you're not sneezing, it's not seasoned. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, pepper, all-purpose seasoning, garlic pepper, and paprika. Remember guys, I'm not doing anything fancy. I just do simple things really well. Into the pot she goes. Mix. And I have my blue timer, which is for my induction burner. You're going to cook the mix for 15 minutes. I am so sorry. I did not mean to say 15 minutes. That was something for something else. You're going to cook this for 10 minutes. Only cook the meat mixture with the tomatoes for 10 minutes. Sorry about that. And I'm not going to edit it out. I have my blue timer for my induction burner. This is cooked for 10 minutes, not 15. Sorry about that. And now it's time for the worst part of the cook. The dishes. I don't know how to do the editing. I'm just trying to have fun, guys. But while we wait for the stuff to cook, we need to tackle these dishes. And wow, clean sink. When I said there wasn't any fancy editing, I meant it. Alright guys, dinner is almost ready, so let's finish up. Once your rice has cooked, you're going to fluff it with a fork. Give your meat one more stir, and you're ready to plate. And that's it. You made a home-cooked meal. I'm going to turn around the camera so we can chat. Thank you guys so much for joining me on today's episode. It's truly an honor and privilege to be able to cook with you guys. For this recipe, you can find it on my website, which is www.minniemeals.com. For my long-form content, you can find it on my YouTube channel at Minnie Salvant, as well as Facebook at Minnie Salvant. For short form content, you can find it on my TikTok, Lemonade, or Instagram at Minnie Moving Mountains. Let's move mountains together, and what should I cook next? I'll see you guys next time. Bye.